live. Can people hear us? They may be able to hear us. This mic is now turned on, so I can talk into it, but everything is generally not working the way it should, including Cleo's computer and mouth. So Cleo is out for today. It's just me, I'm sorry. I should probably post a tweet before people get too sad, expecting Cleo to be here. It's just one of those days. Welcome everybody, hope you're doing pretty well. Okay, Discord actually opened, woo! Okay. Don't worry, we're going to be starting the stream soon. Okay, I see my Discord chat is active. A lot of chatter last night. I'm between both mics right now, so I don't think either one's picking me up well. Let's go back over to this one. Okay, so I should be coming in a little clearer now. Here's what we're doing today. So, oh, I forgot to post on Twitter. I was going to post on Twitter that Cleo can't make it. And then I need to get the YouTube link so I can post a link to the YouTube video. Because I'm trying not to post the link to the Twitch thing, because then people think that Twitch is a supported platform. Which, wait, why does it say Badger's name up there? Okay, this overlay is... This is part of the tech check, as I'm realizing there are problems with the overlay that need to go. Bye-bye overlay, okay. Badger's not on the call. It's just me. Cleo is... I hate typing with the pop screen. Cleo... since Cleo is out today, our craft stream time will be spent reconfiguring my studio and doing some tech checks. I wanna hit the ground running when for our next stream. And there's the link. Join me now at... Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, what do we got? We have a camera that's not aligned with a microphone in front of it. We need to fix that, like, first. So we're going to turn that camera all the way off. And there's, like, a clamp here that I think we want to move. I think we want to move this whole arm around the camera. So I'm going to... Okay. This is a great way to do anything live on stream. Let me tell you. Okay, so we need to move this far enough over that we can pull this up. And then, ooh, actually out even? Question mark? Is that turned all the way down? Okay, that is turned all the way down. Okay, I think we're gonna unplug this microphone. I still heard that in my headset, even though that was turned all the way down. Did y'all hear that? Did it make a loud click? Hopefully not too bad. Okay, I'm realizing the way the wire guide is, we're not going to be able to remove that anyway, so... Okay, whatever. Next problem. Okay, new plan. Chair's going further away. Chair's going further away. Coffee is going on the side table. If not even the shelf. The shelf is safer. Okay. Well, we're done unplugging and replugging in microphones right now. We do actually have craft supplies. So when we get this set up, we can test. We've got our notebook and our color pencils here. I think we need to move the entire thing. We need to move the entire mic stand over and move the light over. I think that's going to be where we get... So in order to move the mic stand over, though, we can put the mic here and then just unscrew... You can't see it anymore. We can just unscrew this underneath. Then we'll move this over here. So we're just loosening this, because I'm going to put this on the other side of a metal plate that's a little thicker than where it was before. Okay, great. That was too loose. I'm still loosening it. I'm tightening it now. I don't know if you can hear me or see me. At least I believe I'm tightening it. It's hard to say. Hard to say, indeed. Okay. I think that's as tight as it's gonna get. Okay. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stand up. I think this cable is long enough to use it as is. Okay, this cable is not long enough. So when I said we weren't going to be unplugging any more mics today, let me look at something real quick. How is that wired? Oh boy. Suboptimally, I can tell you that. We're going to mute the mics on OBS real quick, because I'm going to have to unplug and replug something in. Let's move my cute little Lego Badger out of the way. And you'll hear me again shortly, unless I completely break the audio setup. Okay, well, that was why that wasn't working. Okay, so we should be good now on that part. I'm gonna have to probably mute again for this next bit. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm gonna mute again. Okay, so we've moved the sound controller box over from beneath the left monitor to the right monitor, which means I don't need to go get a longer cable for the microphone, I hope. So we're going to see how that goes. Now I'm going to take this microphone and put it in the stand peg here, hopefully. I'm trying to show that without... Yeah. Oh no, this arm might not work there because it's going to hit this wall pretty hard behind it. Well, no, that's going to be okay. Okay. So then we point this here at the table, turn on the light. Okay, okay. Making progress. Camera, go forward. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely get sound equipment locally. That's not a problem. Okay, so I haven't tried switching over the new mic yet, but before I do, just as a quick reminder, if you enjoy the show, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. We got some stuff we got to try and fix before we go over there and start troubleshooting that mic. We've got a couple other things we got to fix first. So for one thing, we need to fix this video here. Properties, configure video. So every time Windows restarts, it does a bunch of stupid stuff and changes all my video and audio settings, which is one of the reasons that I have to do the show on stream, because otherwise I might not notice if something changed. Okay, so configure video over here. We're going to turn our white balance, our manual focus, our auto exposure, and our low light compensation all off. So, and then we put down something like this. That's got color in it. Let's open it up so we can actually just see the color pencils, see what they look like, so we can figure out some color balance on here. Okay, so that'll help us get our color for our white balance and other stuff. Focus, for example. We'll set out a page there. Okay, so right now that paper looks blank. Thanks, the wind. Okay, train whistle, you have 2 jobs now. Oh, people can't see the train whistle, but it's there. Okay, but now the page is not directly on the table where we need it. Okay. It's fine. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. Okay, so let's make OBS larger so I can see the changes as I adjust the focus and the white balance and stuff. So, white balance, we can adjust there. That looks like a natural light situation. In terms of focus, we can really get those dots into focus, or the pencil lines. Feels like that's about right there. Oh, boy. Okay. So now we have... I'm not sure if I like... Can we turn the exposure... One more exposure is too many steps, clearly. That's too dark. This feels about right to me. Maybe we bring the brightness up a little. No, too much. Boy, I need to clean this table. Oh, it's fine. Okay. Oh, I wonder if you'd be able to see if the lights were on. No, not really. Okay. It's fine. Okay. So we are doing rotational tips today. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube's Lone Courier writes, "Good morning, Joe. I got back from Spain yesterday, and boy, did it rain while I was on the plane. The rain in Spain falls mightily on the plane." See, I'm cultured. I'm cultured too. Okay. So, in terms of just general composition for how we're going to want a stream like this to look, I really do like framing everything with the pencils, but the pad isn't high enough up in terms of like being able to use the bottom of it. Okay, so that gets the pad back in the middle here. Okay, that's not visible. Oh, I found the Joe Hills Lego. It's in the other room. I need to go get it. I'll be right back. This is a setup stream. We're gonna be leaving the room to get things occasionally. Okay, I'm back. So, I have the Lego Joe Hills here. That was a gift from my betrothed. We can just put the little pumpkin further forward. It's kind of blocking me a little bit. But you know, since Badger's left-handed, the wrench can go in the left hand, and the jack-o'-lantern flowers can go in the right. Because you don't need to be fully dexterous to use jack-o'-lantern flowers. Okay. Ta-da! Okay. Welcome, Stall Wall Raider. We're doing a lot of setup stuff today. Okay. I'll be honest, this whole room is very chaotic. I had a bunch of stuff fall over during the charity stream that I haven't bothered picking up. Okay. Oh, we do have this extra light. Does this light help light my face? That's super blinding, and I'm not sure that it's... I mean, it does it does work as a pretty good fill light. But boy, can I not see anything. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna not blind the streamer. Ah, strobe effect. In case you need to attach this to your bicycle. Yes. Okay. Lone Courier, well, I'm glad you were able to land safely despite the storm. That sounds rough. June Paradise, I am not a therapist and cannot give advice along those lines. I don't know. I mean, most of my problems with my parents stemmed from us having nothing in common when I was younger, because they were but like, because it's like my dad was very focused on work and I didn't have a job, and he wouldn't let me get a job because he's like, no, once you if you get a job, you won't want to go to college. You'll be like, I'm doing pretty good with my, hourly wage above minimum. I don't need to go into all this debt, and so you need to go to college. And so we didn't really have anything in common until I got out of college and got a job, because then we could talk about work stuff. So, like, sometimes if you don't get along with your parents, you just need to be older. Like, don't stress out about it. You'll have more in common later. Yeah, the last setting might be SOS, actually. On the light there. But yeah, I mean, really, if you're trying to fix a problem now, you might need to talk to a therapist or something. I don't know. That's not my bag. This is my bag. It's got a D20 on it. Okay. But yeah, that's not actually a biking light. That's more of a tool shop light. It would be... I was kind of joking because it would be very awkward to affix to a bicycle. You would not want to do that. Let's see. Vintage Beef wants to know if anyone has iron ore blocks. Okay. No, somebody already got them. Okay, cool. Just checking my messages. It's a busy time of day for the hermits. Okay. Hey, Bass Symphonies. We are currently reorganizing the room still. I just moved the second microphone over, and we're about to do some tech checks with it. I'm taking a break because moving the microphone over involved moving a lot of other things, like remounting it and a bunch of other stuff. We also we found the Lego Joe cleaning, so that's a good step. So we have Lego Joe. We just did color balance and light balance on camera 2 here, the streaming camera, or the art stream camera. Yep. So, well, we've had Lego Badger. Lego Badger has been here. I lost Lego Joe for a while. It fell behind some furniture. But I just moved all the furniture. Woo! Okay. Let's get the coffee back now that we're not moving wires that are going to get snagged on the French press or whatever. Yeah, let's put that where it's got the colored pencils in there. That'll look nice. And let's get the ring light out of the shot there. Okay. 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 So as much as I don't want to move on to checking the second mic, I think it's time to move on to checking the second mic. Hopefully it's fine. So I keep going with my left hand to adjust the volume knobs, but everything's on the right hand now. So we're going to bring up the volume on the second mic. We're going to bring down the volume on mic 1. Okay, now I am immediately realizing that my mouth is directly like I'm eating the ring light. The ring light is either too high or too low. I cannot work on the craft streams if my mouth, like my lips are like brushing against the ring light. Also, I don't know, it looks like you can hear me. So this is why we do the tech setup stream. So we're gonna bring the ring light up, and then we're gonna refocus it. Okay. So let's bring that up. Now it's exactly at my eye level, so I can't look down. It's resting on my nose. We need to bring it up some more, I think. We're gonna need to bring that way. Thanks, computer. Or wind. I'm used to when things go wrong, it's the computer and not the wind. That time it was actually the wind. Okay. So I think what I want to do is I want to angle the ring light one click higher, maybe? Can I do that one click higher? Oh boy. That is like coming right for my face. Okay. The coffee is reflecting the lamp directly into the camera, which is not optimal. So we're a little bit further away from the crafts now, visually. But on the plus side, I can bring this boom arm up and around. So this is going to be closer to my face. We've got... Oh, that wire probably we don't want draped that way. Can we drape that wire literally any other way? No. We need a longer wire. The problem is I've got like 3-foot microphone cables and I've got 25-foot microphone cables. I don't have 7-foot microphone cables. So might need to figure that out. Okay. So if I'm sitting right here though. Oh, the focus is going to be off now. We need to fix the focus on the camera too. Okay. So for fixing the focus on the camera, I'm going to switch back to microphone 1, which I'm back in front of over here. Microphone 2 shouldn't be picking me up too much, so there shouldn't be any echo, hopefully. Okay, so we're going to full screen OBS basically. Yeah, that focus is way off. Properties, configure video. Uh-oh. Properties, configure video. Uh-oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Okay. So, focus. I feel like it's not quite bright enough now. I think we need to turn the exposure up. Well, that's more exposed, but now it's a little too bright. So we're going to turn the brightness back down. I feel like we've got too much grain almost, which we shouldn't be getting. Okay, that's clearly too much exposure. Yep. Can't fix that in the brightness slider. Okay. Just is that in focus? Yeah, I think that might be the best we're gonna get. I just want to keep tweaking it. It doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel quite right. Like if I pull it all the way this way, it's clearly further out of focus now. But when we start like getting it close, it's like I feel like I'm at the optometrist. Is this better than this? Okay, that's clearly worse. These two seem equally good. Which means we probably need to be at like 7 here. But you can't actually type in the number 7 on the slider. You can just try and drag it to 7. Thanks, the slider. One or two. 1 or 2. 2 or 3. 2 or 3. Yeah, if you've been to an optometrist, you know what I'm on about. Okay. So. I keep forgetting where my controls are. Yeah, you can hear the wind and the birds outside a little. Somebody, I think, has an air conditioner running, which is annoying. That's one of the reasons I don't have the windows open in the summer, even though I don't mind the heat quite so much. Well, for one thing, the humidity would ruin everything in my apartment. But for another thing, the air conditioner buzzes from all the apartments and houses and stuff nearby. Gets overwhelming. It's hard to tell sometimes if it's one of those, what do you call them, cicada years. Coffee. Okay. So, I feel like we've made some progress here. Sometimes it feels like we've made some progress. Sometimes it feels like I've got a song without much direction in terms of the lyrics. This could go somewhere. I could be wrong. Yeah, good luck at the eye doctor's, Badger. Tardy, I'm gonna assume that name means late, but that's a questionable name. Yeah. I don't want to make moderation calls this early in the morning. I'm tired. I'm gonna drink my coffee, but please behave. Yeah, it could refer to a TARDIS. Yeah. Yeah. Well. I was gonna say, prepare for any stream you enter that you're already on thin ice and might be banned. For having a name that could deeply upset some people. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to get a new name. I just don't have the energy for this. That's. If your name is very close to a slur or a derogatory term, I don't want people who have been insulted or had people name calling them to come to my stream and feel like this is a uncomfortable place in that way. I just don't have the energy to trying to it's just too much. It's one more thing that has to be explained every time you're here. Like, don't worry, this isn't an insult. This is about Doctor Who. It's extra cognitive framework laying. It's more scaffolding every stream. I just don't want to deal with it. I'm sorry, and I'm probably not the only person who's gonna feel that way. So yeah. Okay. The part of the point of these setup streams is to fix things now so they're less work later. This was a theoretical concept for a pinball machine layout that I was working on for Deep Field. I'm not sure if it's actually playable or fun, but this was a thing I was attempting. Okay. And now the dogs are angry. Morning, NJ. I'm assuming the dogs are barking because they saw you came in. They're like, where's our coffee? Want to eat the coffee. Yeah, the honeycomb design is based off of Space Telescope. And so is the thing on the side there. My brain is... I'm not... yeah. I'm just awake enough to try to move these microphones around without knocking stuff over. But yeah. But like the JWST has like a honeycomb design for its like primary like receiver dish thing. And so I was thinking that that could be something inlaid in the playfield with lights on it that like keep track of progress towards something, or I'm not sure exactly. Maybe it tracks bonus. I'm still playing with the where the lights would go and the cutouts and stuff. There's a lot of parts of designing a pinball machine. One thing you don't want to do is waste any space if you can avoid it. And I'm not sure that this design avoids wasting a lot of space. I'm still tweaking. Lone Courier says, I appreciate you, Joe. The early streams brighten my day. I try. I'm not sure. Speaking of early streams, we might not be doing a Thursday stream tomorrow. The Quinn streams, we usually do those when my daughter's in school, but my daughter has off from school. And so it feels kind of weird to be like, hey, guess what? Your aunt's coming over, but you can't hang out with us for 3 hours. Go watch from the other room on the TV. So we might be making alternate plans, which is not the best decision from a purely mercenary financial standpoint, because we know that y'all appreciate those streams because you show up and demonstrate that with tips. But at the same time, it is a holiday weekend, and you know, it's a good time for family to spend time together. So depending on weather and some other factors, we might be doing something else or going somewhere else instead of streaming. Still, I need to keep an eye on how things are looking. Multimap Gaming, yep. I stream on Twitch and YouTube. That's a drawing of a pinball machine layout I'm just experimenting with. We're kind of in... this is kind of a setup stream. I'm tweaking some stuff with the microphones and the audio settings and the lights and where everything is. Okay. Yeah, so let me check on something so I can, because I'd like to be able to tell you more definitively if we're gonna have a stream tomorrow morning, but at this point I would say probably not. But info for Thursday. I hate when a graphic has a QR code in it where they're like, for updates, use this QR code. And I'm like, well, it's a real hassle to try and use a QR code like, for some reason on the iPhone, they've got, it's hard to you can look at a QR code with a camera and it'll give you the option to click on it, right? But if it's just in a graphic on a website, you can't easily go through there. Yeah. Okay. So, yay. I know this is a high intensity stream. Okay. Okay. So I don't, in terms of Friday, I don't know what my streaming schedule looks like either. Same reasons. It's a holiday weekend, but we're also like pretty broke because I just spent a lot of money going to London, and I'm about to be hiring an immigration attorney for my fiance's moving to the United States, and so like I can't really afford to skip work just because the Romans murdered some guys, and one of them was famous. But I also feel bad about not spending more time with my kid, so I'm probably gonna do the evening streams Thursday night and Friday night, but I'm probably not gonna do the morning streams. But I don't know. Because the other thing is, if my kid's just like, you know what, Dad, I don't want, the weather's terrible. I don't want to hang out. I just want to sit and read. Or I'm working on, Dad, I'm working on a drawing. You go find something to amuse yourself. If she doesn't want to hang out with me, then I'm gonna come hang out with y'all. But like, I feel like that's kind of her choice. You know. Uh, Drew Baca says that's the best description of Easter I've ever heard. Molten Map Gaming says, I've been to London 3 times. Beautiful place, but I fly there every summer and catch a bus to Manchester to stay with a friend of mine. Honestly, Badger, are you still here? If you're still here, Badger, if next time I go to England, I really want to go to a taping of 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown or a taping of Taskmaster. And I know that that's probably a really unrealistic goal, but we should at least check, right? We should, if it happened to line up with the dates I was there. And I know you said they filmed those out in Manchester. I think, or somebody said they film 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown in Manchester or something. But somebody else mentioned that you can catch a bus to Manchester from London. Although there might also be a train, I would assume. It's doable, but involves an entire day of queuing and a lot of time. Okay. Well, if you're just like, how about this? How about you go? How about we take the train to Manchester and I'll have a spa day and you go queue up for 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown? They have spas in Manchester, right? Yeah, if you don't want to spend the entire day waiting in line to get into something that you don't want to do, I can do it myself. We can find something that you'd like to do in the same place. That's not that. I'm not gonna be like, you gotta come to Ada. It's always been my dream to watch 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown sitting next to you. I don't know how to bedazzle a bag, but good luck, Freddy. Badger says, I do not hate TV recordings. They're fun. Awesome. Okay, so maybe we can go do this. I did start watching Taskmaster. I just finished series 2 with my fiance. Okay. Wandio says, sounds like you're in a good muse today. Like a good mood, maybe? Yeah, I actually don't know how bedazzling works. But good luck with your surgery, Freddy. That's it's a lot. But yeah, good luck with that. Sorry, like bedazzling is one of those things like Magic the Gathering where I just always kind of assumed it was for rich people. Because, like, you have to have a bunch of stuff. And, like, when I was a kid, I had 4 younger siblings, and we never had any money for stuff. So, I'm realizing as I'm getting older, there's a lot of stuff that I thought was for rich people that was just for people with any non-zero amount of discretionary income, instead of, like, maybe you don't have to, like, own a jet to bedazzle something. But I'm assuming you need, like, some sort of tools, and then you need the actual gems. I don't know, but like I've never looked into it because I just assumed it wasn't for me. Amanda says you can use gems, you can use glue and plastic gems from the dollar store, but is that bedazzling or is that just gluing gems to stuff? I think bedazzling is like its own like ecosystem of equipment. And I think bedazzling is like capital B. Might even have a capital D in it. Bedazzling. Okay, so I'm gonna try. So we're gonna go back to trying the second mic and seeing how actual work on the pad goes, because this is a tech check stream. We're gonna roll the chair over here. Everything's stuck on other stuff. What is this wire? What is this wire I am stuck on? Oh, that's... This Xbox controller is more trouble than it's worth. And, and a Super Nintendo controller. I've got 2 controllers wound up in my headphone wire here somehow. In different ways. And, just taking the headphones off at this point. Just taking the headphones off. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, Badger says that actual rich people look down on bedazzling because it's tacky looking. Okay, see, I don't know. Okay. So, I still don't like that the ring light is, like, exactly at my eye level here. That's really disconcerting. We're gonna move this mic. Let me turn that down. Moving that mic a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I could rest my forehead. I am resting my forehead on the ring light. That doesn't feel optimal. Although if I'm chilling back here more, that's kind of okay. I'm completely out of frame for the other camera now, though. Can I do anything about that without, like... I'm kind of in frame now. If I lean forward, I'm out. Okay. Just as a reminder, we are doing rotational tips today, which is why the camera is at 0 degrees angular right now, because this is not worth paying for. But if you decide you like me anyway, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. So, because it's kind of windy out, but it seems... I am going to probably have to drop the shades here. Get a more consistent flat light there. Oh, it's a lot less beautiful in the room now. But... Don't use super tacky glue while bedazzling. You'll end up bedazzling your fingers to your face. Well, Good luck to you, Freddie. Yeah, I hope you are able to make or find a bag cover that suits your needs. But yeah, I'm not. I'm so far behind on everything that I'm responsible for to myself and my family. Uh, I cannot, in good conscience, promise you that I will make you anything. But yeah, sorry about that. Okay. So, this is just like a rough concept I had one day. I've had a few others. Let's see if I can find. Okay, so here's some stuff from when we were working on the Spiral Nebula. Okay. So, like, when I think about, like, the path I want the ball to take, let's just start simple. So, we've got, like, our shooter rod down here. Is that visible? That's not huge, but it's visible. And the ball, I want to have it go up and out a curved ramp partway up the machine. And I want the ball to come across and up, like in skateball, if you plunge it properly. Now, we might have something where if you underplunge, there'd be some sort of target here on the skill shot that I could hit. I gotta say, one of the coolest skill shots that I've found, my friend Amanda found it, who actually won the Four Strikes First Tuesday women's tournament last night for April at No Quarter. If you are following Broken Diode on Twitch, they are not only streaming the Wednesday night tournaments now, they're also streaming the First Tuesday women's tournaments. And so some folks from my Discord actually last night just randomly were like, hey, that channel that Joe plays pinball on sometimes is live. Hey, there's Quinn! So yeah, Quinn, Corinne, and my friend Amanda, who I went to college with, so I've known Amanda for like 17 years. She just got into pinball in the last few months. But yeah, she actually won the entire tournament. It was down to her and another lady who's like one of the highest ranked women in the state, but like, who also has only been playing at the tournament level for like 8 months. Like, so, like, if you're like, man, I want to get into pinball, but like, I don't know if I'd be competitive. Well, I mean, they both practice a lot. They go out and they practice in their free time and stuff, but you know, just because somebody's been going to tournaments for years doesn't mean they're guaranteed to win. Right? I mean, there were another one of the other people who was tied for third had also, this was like only her third tournament. She'd been playing pinball for a long time, but she hadn't done a lot of tournaments, right? Shows up, walks away with tie for third. And then there were a lot of other people there though who were like in the top half who had been playing for years, and you know what, for whatever reason or whatever, this just wasn't their night. They still had a good time. You know what? People who win a lot of tournaments, sometimes they finish in 5th. Sometimes they finish in 8th. That's okay. But yeah, I really want to encourage everybody, if you're on the fence about going out there and trying pinball and being in a tournament, like, there was one event that I went to where I got second, and a lot of other people had a bad night, and I had a particularly good one, but hey, I still walked away with second, even though I'd only been playing for a few months myself. So, I really hope that y'all will get out there and play. Noun Beast, thank you for tipping 20, who says, we must begin the jotation. So we're going to go ahead and begin that jotation for Noun Beast there. Let's go ahead and start rotating the camera. Hi, I'm rotating. I'm up to 10 degrees, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Woo! Alrighty. Ink Display says, love it when Joe is rotated. Well, if you'd like to contribute or encourage other people to, they're welcome to at paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. Who's my favorite country's artist? Oh, boy. Well, if I had to pick my favorite country, it would probably be Scotland. And I feel like Peter Capaldi is just one of the greatest dramatic artists alive. So probably Peter Capaldi. Okay. Oh, country's music. I think Ireland has really good music. I like the even though I like Flogging Molly. I like that song by the Pogues, The Body of an American. Even though it's a song about an American, it's Irish music. The Cadillac stood by the house, the Yanks they were within. The Tinker Boys, they instead voice hot wire with a pin. And we turned and shook as we had a look in the room where the dead man lay. Like, it's just so good. It's so good. But yeah. Let's see. But like I really like Flogging Molly. Although I feel like doing that with like you almost have to try and sing it with the Irish accent for it to work. His eyes they closed, and his last breath spoke. He had seen all to be seen. Yeah. Dang it, I don't remember. Oh, boy, how am I blanking on the lyrics to that? Hold on. A life once full, now an empty vase, like the blossoms on his early grave. Walk away. I feel like I feel like I'm doing this really badly. Walk away, me boy, walk away, me boy, and by morning we'll be free. Wipe that golden tear from your mother dear, and raise what's left of the flag for me. Yeah! Then the rosary beads comes on 1, 2, 3, fall apart as they hit the floor. In our garb of black, we must pay respect to the colours we're born to mourn. Walk away, my boys, walk away, my boys. By morning we'll be free. Wipe the golden tear from your mother, dear, and what's left of the flag for me. Yeah. Dang it! I was trying to get the pencil to bounce into the camera. Like, yeah. Oh, that wasn't. It's fine. Badger Spanner says the only proper time I've seen Peter Capaldi with my own eyes, he told off Stephen Moffat for being rude to a child. Oh, that's great. Horizont Joe is not the best Joe. I don't know if you follow Eurovision, but it's a great event to find fun and interesting European bands. Are the bands in Eurovision normal bands? I thought that Eurovision was kind of like the Olympics, where like the Olympic hockey team for the United States is people from a bunch of different hockey teams who are playing in like a super national hockey team. Like I figured that like they didn't just have like, oh hey, here playing for England this year in Eurovision is the Who. I thought maybe they'd be like, okay, we've got the drummer from the Beatles, we've got the drummer from the Who, we've got this other drummer from another English band, and then we've got 4 tap dancers and 1 vocalist from a different English band or something. I'm not saying that they wouldn't already be artists in their own right. I'm saying they would like they would be like a super group of artists in the same way that you'd have a super group of hockey players or basketball players for the Olympics. Ink display says they're usually up-and-coming bands. Nambi says, I'm so happy I walked upstairs to a sea shanty. I wasn't singing a sea shanty. Harvey Work says, morning, I've seen every Eurovision. No, Triforce says morning. Gotcha. Hi, Triforce, morning. The only rule is that they can't have released the Eurovision song before they submitted it. Okay. A lot of countries have a festival where the audience votes for the band to represent the country at Eurovision. I realized how to fix the ring light problem. Hold on. Watch. Look at the camera. Look at me. Hi. The chair was too high. I have 100% fixed my ring light problem. That was it. The chair was just too high. Okay. Oh, this is way better. I was like, I don't want to... I was like, I need to change something about this setup, but if I make the ring light any higher, it's going to wreck everything. I had the chair up higher so that... I had the chair high so I could be in frame with the candelabra over here. I am using Badger's chair because since I rearranged the room, I can't put the chair off camera anywhere. Nope, Queen says it would be so hard to make music with people you don't normally play with. I don't know if that's the case. There's a ton of session musicians here in Nashville who people just call up and say, hey, we need a cellist for this song. Hey, we need a violinist for this song. Here's the music. Come on out and we'll record it. Right? Now I'm not in frame. Yeah. The problem is I can't really move this much further without, like, other... Like, the bookshelf and the... It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so we want the ball to go up and over, and... So, from here, though, what do we got? Do we have a scoop? Do we have drop targets? I don't know. I really like the idea of having the... So one of the telescopes has like 3 solar panels on each side of like a central tube here. So I really like this element of having a bank of like 6 drop targets with a central thing. But I'm not sure where to put that safely. That's not like completely obnoxious. Because if you just have it too close to the flippers, then that's just a drain magnet. So, if you put it up top, though, you have to... Then you lose your pops there. Now, you do have the possibility... Actually, you could put the pop bumper Rick and Morty style, or no, Total Nuclear Annihilation style, up here. You could have your pop bumper up here. Actually, so then if it comes around the orbit, it hits the pop and then deflects up that way somehow. That's actually interesting. And then... So, do you want to have a... Figuring out how many flippers to have is also, like, a huge challenge. Like, do you want a flipper here? Maybe. Maybe you do. So if the ball's that way, you can kind of defend the out lane a little bit. You can also maybe deflect it up here if you wanted. Do you want a flipper here? Maybe you do. You can... I don't know. I don't know. I'm playing with it. This is why we're sketching. We're not putting a lot of graphite on paper, but it's the possibility space of the blank page we're exploring. Hashtag, that's so deep, you should give Joe money. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. No, that's not actually very good. But you should give me money anyway. Let's think about this. So, if we have the ball come across here, and then instead of having the pops, we had 7 drop targets, or 6 drop targets up here, and the scoop. You could have that as like an angled thing like that, almost. So the ball comes up here, and either goes all the way around to there. This is very spatially not right. We're just experimenting. But then hits one of those. If you could hit these from there. You could possibly hit those if you had a clear shot from down there. So I like having this saucer here. Feels right. I feel like we want an auto plunge, so we're gonna put in a marker for that. Having the ball bounce off the pops and up into there is exciting, or the pop at that point is exciting, but I don't know if it's a good idea. Honestly, I have a lot of doubts about whether any of this is a good idea, but that's also part of the fun. So if we did that, though, if we had 6 drop targets across the top there, I feel like you don't want them head on. You're gonna want it to be canted a few degrees, right? Like either that or like that. And if you've got the pop there that's gonna bump it up into there, do you want the cant to be facing the pop? I think you do. So, okay. Of course, all my stencils and straight edges are in the other area. Let's go get them. It's a creeper mask full of stencils. Woo! Protractors, French curves. Sorry, I keep hitting the thing. Squares. Okay. Okay. So. Somewhere I wrote down the dimensions of drop targets and pop bumpers. And I think it was on the page that I was on before. So we're going to scroll back a little bit here. Okay, yeah, so here's Fathom. We've got pop bumpers, and so Fathom from memory and Fathom from reference. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah. Joker Poker. This is the game that was at the finals last night. That's a really, really tough game. Oh, yeah. Here's what the actual space telescope looks like head-on. So the drop targets would have these decals that look like these. And then there'd be the... So, yeah, I think that would look cool. Okay. But basically, just looking at this, drop target dimensions compared to... Drop targets are 6 blocks wide and 2 blocks deep in Minecraft. Okay. So we're going to copy that. Drop targets. Width. 1 in, 6 block. Depth. 3/8 inch. 2.26 block. Okay. Okay, so now, so you got to keep in mind the whole machine internally is about 100 blocks wide, let's say, of usable playfield. So 6 blocks with a gap in between them of, let's say, 2 blocks. So let's say that each, the drop targets each take up 8 blocks worth of space because they've got a gap on either side. 6 times 8, oh gosh, is 48 blocks wide. So this is going to be about a little bit over half the width of the entire playfield if we have this like space telescope array like this. So having it at an angle is definitely going to be a way to fit it in better. Let's pull pop bumper dimensions real quick. Pop bumper dimensions, pinball life. Okay, pop bumper parts. Full pop bumper assemblies, pop bumper caps. Okay. There's a CAD drawing here, which we're going to open in a new tab. You don't have access to this document. Of course I don't. Thanks. Okay, so that's 2.5 inches wide. Pop bumper. Diameter 2.5 inches, which is going to be roughly, okay, if 1 inch is 6 blocks, 15 blocks. So a 15 block circle. So just for reference, if we said that each of these lines was, or each of these dot grid dots, like the squares, was 3 blocks in Minecraft, then we'd basically have these spaced out. That's a bad way to do it because they're not going to actually... If we said that each of these was 4 blocks in Minecraft, then we had 1, 2, 3, then a gap for the saucer, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So that's going to be 7 times 8, 56 blocks. So 16, so then 4 blocks, 4. So then a pop bumper would be in relation to that. How big? This big. So if you had a pop bumper like here, so the ball comes up and around, hits this pop, and is deflected that way somewhere. So we have the pop partially embedded into the wall of the machine here. So, and we might even have it shielded this way somehow, with like other targets or something here, right? So the ball comes up, hits that. Ball read. 1 1/16 inch is the standard size for a pinball. So basically at that point, we do, that's just... So if we want one ball width, that's about... The balls are basically about as big as the drop targets. So... Yeah, it looks to me like the way you do this, you would definitely want to cant the pop bumper. Or not cant the pop bumper, cant the... So ideally, we want the pop bumper to be at the top of the shooter lane here. So you'd have your shooter lane deflect out and up, right? And across. And then this is going to go up and around. This is why we have a freaking French curve, and I'm not using it. It's fine. It's the wrong French curve. Thank you, French curve. That's fine. Just throw that anywhere. So basically, though, we want the ball to come across here, and then like up and around. And then across here. And then curve again. Kind of. This is super loose. Now this does give us some space up here to do interesting stuff too. So if we have a saucer here, which I don't know why I'm freehanding that circle when I literally have a stencil full of circles. It's fine. Let's just freehand all the circles for fun. My favorite. Okay, so behind the drop targets, though, we're going to have, like, a wall here. And then... I like the idea of having rollovers up here. Those are fun and old school. So one of the big differences here versus TNA is that in TNA the pop bumper is below the shooter lane, whereas we're going above the shooter lane. Okay. So on a full plunge, the idea is that it goes around, hits the pop bumper, and then we have this canted up slightly. Mahi says, have you considered making this in virtual pinball or future pinball after you have a general design idea? Yeah, that's a good way to test the geometry. I have considered that, but this is kind of one of those things where, like, I work better in the brainstorming phases, kind of pencil and paper. Because otherwise I get too over-focused on the tool, right? Like, I know I've been criticized for, like, when I was designing Minecraft skins, I was literally using craft paper and color pencils, and somebody's like, why are you not just using Photoshop? And I was like, that's not the best way for me to do it, because then I'll get annoyed with Photoshop instead of getting excited. I don't mind my tools frustrating me as much during the execution stage as I do during the brainstorming phase. During the brainstorming phase, if the tool is doing something obnoxious, I'll just feel like, I don't have the energy for this right now, and I'll walk away. So, in the interest of actually getting it done, it's better for me to kind of play around with it here. So yeah, we cant this entire thing slightly so that it bounces the ball that way. Now the thing is, though, it's kind of this question of what's the skill shot at that point. Because, like, if the ball funnels into here, because this is on, like, a triangular thing, triangular cant, almost, then, yeah, getting it in the saucer is the skill shot. But when the saucer kicks out, yeah, you need the saucer to kick out and... If the saucer's in the bottom of a funnel here, and the saucer kicks out and kicks up, it's going to go back in the saucer. So then you need the saucer to kick forward instead, which is going to cause you problems if this is straight aligned anyway, because then it would just go straight down the drain. You got to have the kick out going at a diagonal regardless. And then the question is the kick out inclined to just send the ball down the out lane? Because if so, then you got another problem. A lot of things to think about here. A lot of things to think about. Boy. I really like this idea, though, of having it hit a pop and then spotting it, then hitting a drop target. You could have it maybe spot one of the drop targets if you hit the skill shot. Like, from a rules standpoint, there's a question of what does the skill shot do? It should give you an advantage toward, like, starting a mode, or it should give you bonus points, or give you extra ball save. This is kind of like Iron Maiden, now that I'm thinking about it. Iron Maiden has a really fun skill shot where you go down the left out lane. Or not, yeah, the left out lane. If you plunge directly across and go down the left out lane, you get 20 million points. Which is very challenging to pull off, let me tell you. Hey, welcome, Alan. Welcome, Yeet Doodles. We are currently working on pinball machine table layout ideas for my Hermitcraft pinball project. I'm realizing we're definitely going to have to do this at an angle, and we're trying to figure out exactly which angle is the best, because in some ways having it angled more like this is good, because then if the ball, then instead of having the ball funnel into the thing here, you can have the ball go back out toward the pop bumper. You could even possibly fit in a second pop bumper. Ooh. You could fit in a second pop bumper if you angled the whole thing. So, like, let's say that we have, so it's kind of like this. Then we want to be tangent to that part of the curve. So we have the whole thing go down like that. And then this other pop bumper could fit, oh, maybe not. Oh, actually, wait. No, that's a terrible idea. Oh. Huh. Yeah, you could have one pop bumper as the internal bit here. So people like to cluster the pop bumpers so they can kind of play off each other. But actually having the I mean, that's probably not actually fun. It's just sometimes when I'm like, oh, I haven't seen anybody do that. Sometimes there's a good reason nobody's ever done that. Sometimes there's a good reason. And you're just like, oh, actually, you would not want to have a pop bumper there in this sort of scenario. Sometimes maybe you would. Oh. Huh. I was gonna say, is it funny if the pop bumper, you could have a ball lock. So if I angled these up here like that, then it hits the pop and then bumps out. I angle it there so it hits. I think angling it that way is better on the whole, but then you got to move the whole pop, the whole assembly gets lower. Thinking through this here. You know, in some ways, it might be sensible to actually do cutouts of some of the different components at scale in relation to each other, and then I can drag them around. At that point, I kind of, to some degree, might as well just be using Adobe Illustrator. But just thinking about this. Like, making sure I have clearance for the ball and stuff. It is fun to have a pop bumper there, I think. Because that could be one of the skill shots, but then the question is, like, I haven't really, like, having pop bumpers that far apart is uncommon. But it's interesting, I think. Okay. So let's just play with this. Let's just say that we are going to put in another pop bumper. How far apart are pop bumpers from each other normally? How far apart? Honestly, I have no idea. Pirates of the Caribbean has spinning pop bumpers. Ooh, I didn't know that. Okay. So let's try this from scratch almost. So let's say that we had pop bumper here. This assembly from up there is going to be how long in terms of this? That's 7. So 7 centimeters set aside for somewhere for that to hit. It needs to be there or yeah, the problem is if having it angled toward the pop bumper makes it more likely to actually get hit by the pop bumper on the deflection, but you definitely can't fit a second pop bumper up there then. Okay. You can't put a spinner there at that point either. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty limiting. If this is how I'm insisting on doing this, it's going to be pretty limiting. Now, if I had the 7 stand-ups on this side, however, deflecting down like that, or the 6 drop targets or whatever, like along here. With the circle in the middle. You could still, with the saucer here, you could have the skill shot being trying to plunge into the saucer there. Pull the slings back, maybe. So then the question becomes, though, what is this trying to? What is the point of those pop bumpers up there? With you, what are you gonna do with those? Yeah, you need stuff to hit, or you can't get points. This might seem pretty fundamental, but... So the rollovers are like a usual go-to up there. People love their rollovers. I mean, I could just put 8 spinners in this thing. I could just, because this is not a machine that's going to be commercially sold. We could have spinners on a rotating. Oh wait, no, I think Godzilla does that. Yeah, what is that? What is that wheel thing called in the hat in Bond's 60th? Or in Doctor Strange, it's the rotating wheel thing, the crank. I don't know. Uh-oh, more Hermitcraft chatter. Anything? Oh, and other chatter. Anything I need to be alerted to? That's Redstone talk I don't care about. Excuse me. Okay. And oh, okay, I see why I'm getting messages now. The first game on The Price is Right today was comparing the price between a pinball machine and an iMac. That's what people are messaging me. Joe, you watching The Price is right now? No, I'm not. Why are you? Okay. I mean, I do love drop targets. The idea of having drop targets up here is cool. If I had a post here and then a spinner across, I don't know if the ball would actually consistently go back up that way, but maybe it doesn't need to. I know it seems like I'm just kind of staring at a piece of paper, but I am thinking. This is the difference between a craft stream with talking with Cleo. Is like normally when Cleo is talking, I'm also like thinking about my stuff, but now I'm just thinking about my stuff and not talking, and Cleo isn't talking. Come back next week, Cleo. Fix your computer, please. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, so Mahis, the plan was if you got all 7 of these or all 6 of these drop targets and then shoot the saucer in the center, it would trigger a multi-ball. That was my intention. That's the reason to have the saucer in the center, so you can lock the ball there to trigger the multi-ball like start animation. And it says, no worries, I'm just at work staring blankly at my project too. This is eventually inspiration will click. Exactly. We can do it. We'll get there. How are we for time, actually? 10, 12. Okay. Could do something kind of like Terminator, where this is up here. I mean, looking back at some of the other ideas, let's just review. Okay. Yeah, so in this one we had that below that flipper there. We had that coming up and around. We had a hard stop here. I mean, this is not a terrible starting point here, but it's... I do like the idea that you can get the ball into the saucer by getting it under that flipper. It's not necessarily the only way to do it, but it is a way to do it. Pug the Master, is there a pinball game making software like RPG Maker? Yes, but it's not necessarily where you want to be brainstorming at the beginning. Castabura says, on Tango's stream yesterday, he mentioned how appreciative he was of your work with the snow. Oh, that's kind of him. Yeah, Tango's doing a great job, and I'm happy to help any way I can. And honestly, the last few weeks, or last couple weeks here in Tennessee have been kind of rough for everybody, so it's been good to be able to, like, zone out and just help Tango and not necessarily have to worry about my own stuff. Because as you can see, me worrying about my own stuff, I'm just like, oh boy. So things I like about this initial design, the one I'm looking at right now. I like the crossover. I like having that hard stop there that gets it in one of those. I feel like it's wasting a lot of space right here. Like, that is the only thing. Also, the pops underneath the rollovers and stuff, this isn't exactly inspired. Which, I mean, I'm trying to make any pinball game. I want it to be good, but, like, if I never get anything figured out, I'm going to get nothing done, right? So, there's a reason certain things are popular. It's because they work. Okay. Let's go back to looking at some other people's designs. Okay. So looking at Joker Poker. You come up, you hit. It's hard to turn this sideways easily, but... So with Joker Poker, you come up, you try to bounce off there into one of these three for the skill. We got Flipper here to hit the aces. Got Jack. Or no, 10 jacks, queens, kings, aces. Got 2 pop bumpers, not 3. We've got this lane here. Looking at Fathom. 3 pop bumpers. It's got some cool stuff with saucers and drop targets that I really like. Got more, a lot of drop targets on Fathom. That's one of the great things about Fathom. The sequential drop targets are fun because they show progress. So, like, I like the idea of maybe a long exposure series of drop targets behind each other. Long exposure. Now, where does that series of drop targets go? Once again, we could... We could rip off Fathom. Have them be boop, 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 right there. We could have them actually come up here. So that way you could shoot them off the flipper there, but also possibly... if we remove that spinner and post. So, like, the ball comes around here, and it hits the pop bumper. Depending on how it hits it, it either deflects that way, or maybe you get one of your long exposure drop targets. Up there, right? So then we've got drop targets that are in a line side by side on the Space Telescope here. We've got long exposure drop targets back here. I kind of like that. I don't know if that's how that was going to work with the pop bumper or the angles are going to come into play. But that's interesting, and it's not something I've seen done exactly like that. So that has a value. It has a merit. Okay. Whoops, I don't want to search in Discord. Just as a reminder, if you're appreciative of my work, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. I mean, at this point, having having a cluster of pops up here that you have to shoot through to hit that is actually interesting, because the pops, there's an idea in pinball. You don't want to play a machine, or you don't want to design a machine where the pop bumpers are inconsequential. You always want the pop bumpers to mean something. Like, they need to have a value in terms of scoring, but they also need to be like something that you, in some cases, might need to avoid because they're dangerous, right? There's an element of risk reward to them. And so trying to shoot that bank of drop targets up here through more than one pop instead of just past one is going to be something along those lines. So let's go ahead and pull this bit out entirely here. Oh, good erasing. That's going well. So that's the best we're going to get on the erasing, I say, as I continue to attempt to erase. I know what I'm looking at. That's... So, okay. So, if we're trying for meaningful pops, having the pops on either side of that shot there would probably qualify. Having pops there and there. So yeah, shooting that right there is its own thing. Could you backhand that? Probably not. That'd be very challenging. So if you had two pops here and here, and then another one there, the ball could get in the pops there in an interesting way. Now what that doesn't leave is a lot of, like, what's this space up here for at that point? You know, what are we doing with that? I feel like we're core concepts here are sound. They're not arranged properly necessarily. There's going to be a lot of rethinking this. Part of me is just like, what if you just had 8 pop bumpers? What if we just, what if you made, like, because the one pop bumper thing, Scott and EC did was relatively revolutionary. But yeah, you could almost do something funny, where it's like the pop bumpers represent light hitting the receivers, and so every 8 pop hits you get, you would take a picture basically with the space telescopes. So like, the problem is, like, in terms of actual gameplay, trying to keep the ball in the pops all the time only works if the ball can leave the pops. So you can't have too many, and you need to have enough space for the ball to fall out. But like it's interesting, the idea of having a game that's got a lot of randomness to it just because there are so many pops. Pops add a lot of uncertainty, even for the best players, which is why pops a lot of times are sheltered, so they can only bounce the ball out certain ways, except for like Addams Family, where they'll send you right down the drain. No ball save. Okay. Is it possible to have... It's probably a bad idea. Okay. Everything's probably a bad idea until you try it. And then it's definitely a bad idea. Okay. Yeah, I'm at the point where I think I just need to take a break and think about this in other contexts. So we're going to roll back over here to mic number 1 and move myself back into frame with the magic of camera motion. Do. I'm too low for the chair now, or the chair is lower now, so that's a separate problem. What is that in the upper part? Oh, that's the French press reflection. Okay. Hey, welcome, Dead Brain. We're just about to wrap up. We've been making some progress. Brainstorming my pinball machine layout. Like, I feel like I'm close. I've got a lot of pieces. I'm just haven't figured out how to put together yet. So let's see. Categories. What is that? Dr. Seuss pinball? Is that real? I don't know who this is. Let me just... Okay. I don't know this streamer, so this is not necessarily an endorsement of them, but I'm curious about... This is... Somebody seems to have created a Dr. Seuss virtual pin. Let me just roll back through their chat and make sure that they don't seem to be saying anything blatantly terrible. You know what? They've got some sort of stream bot for gambling. I'm not gonna do that. Never mind. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't like rating the same people super close together. But so we've already rated Kendersite once this week, but given the choice between not rating anybody and rating somebody twice in 1 week, we're going to go ahead and raid Kendersite. When you get over there, our raid message is, howdy y'all, Joe Hills raid here. Anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Our raid message is, howdy y'all, Joe Hills right here. Did I say that already? My brain is fried from all this geometry thinking. Alrighty, catch y'all later. Keep adventuring.